Greetings and good day, my fellow Bobs, and welcome back to another installment of Happy Valley, a For All Mankind podcast. I'm Donnie.
And I'm Brian.
And we are here today to talk all things For All Mankind, Season 5, Episode 9, Sons and Daughters. Brian, I'm feeling it this week, man. Number one, but almost a double meaning with this, because obviously you've got the sons and daughters of Mars, but also this was really the next generation story. This was Alex, this was Lily, this was Avery, this was Big Neck.
Yep.
I know he has a real name and eventually I'll start using it, but he's Big Neck until that point in this episode. And I'm here for it, man. I love it. You actually finished this episode before I did this week. So
I did. Did you, when I said finished, did you feel a vibration behind it?
You and your theories and your vibrations, I'm grounded and I'm in the middle of watching the episode. So at that point in the episode, I was far enough along that I'm like, I think his finish is going to be good. And as penultimate episodes go, this was mad solid. Mad solid. Go ahead and give your score, Brian.
Yeah. I gave it a 9. I gave it a 9. There were several moments, but I don't feel like we had a moment where it was like, oh, I'm going to watch this again.
Right.
There were some of those, but not like last episode. But overall, yeah, I was feeling it. It tied everything up. It was very focused. It was focused in the right places. And you got some brevity with Titan.
Okay.
And I love the Marines taking Happy Valley. I was worried they were going to make it two-sided.
Okay.
But it's like the freaking Marines are coming to a bunch of farmers, and they showed it.
Yeah. You're stealing the comment, which is fine, but It should have been a one-sided battle. It was a one-sided battle. You're talking elite soldiers who are just coming through. By the way, no rubber bullets, apparently, because once that first shot was fired, maybe they did on Kuznetsov Station, but when we're down on Happy Valley, I guess we think the walls are thicker and we're not going to worry about that because I've seen a rubber bullet and what it'll do. That was not a rubber bullet. Just saying.
It could have been absolutely a lower caliber, but they had their rifles were not rifles. They were like modified something. They looked like pipe rifles. Yeah, it looked like it had an air tank on it, so it was almost like an airsoft type of vibe, but it's still got enough velocity to be lethal, whatever it is. Yeah, and we definitely it wasn't bouncing off.
Shots fired. I'm like, okay, the gloves are off. Yeah, and it's happening. That's one of my biggest nitpicks is they mentioned specifically rubber bullets. We're going to use rubber bullets. And then they go, there's no mention of anything else. And then they're just blowing people's faces off. To be fair, that was in relation to the mission to Kuznetsov Station. We didn't really get a briefing before this invasion of Happy Valley itself. Yeah, true. So
that's fair.
Yeah, we'll dive into it. I gave this, hold your breath. I did go 8.5 this episode, and I have reasons. Okay. It was another banger, 100%. I don't think it was as good as the last two episodes, and that's fine. That's okay, because it's a penultimate episode. It's going to set up the finale, and I think they absolutely executed on that. I have some awkward clankiness about the stuff on Titan, and we'll dive into exactly why, but there's a couple of things there that to me just moved this down a notch. With that said, Brian, as far as episode 9s go, I think this might be the best one since Bent Bird in the first season. Fantastic setup. And it was a banger. It was action-packed from start to finish. And it was 44 minutes or whatever it was, which is really short for a For All Mankind episode. But it was tight storytelling. It was fast-paced all the way start to finish. I would rather have that than 10 minutes of slop in the middle of it just to make the episode longer. So chef's kiss. Well done, guys. Another banger this week.
No CW dance party.
No CW dance party, which actually came up in email this week. So we'll talk about that as well. Of course, Jade responded. We'll have a Jade score towards the end. We've got some other scores that are coming in. Of course, that email address is happyvalleyfam@gmail.com. We do respond to emails, so please keep sending those in. And we've got 8 emails to read today. So we'll get to that. Also had some reviews come in. So just want to thank people who have taken the time to do that. It's a few minutes of your time, but it's a few minutes of your time. And we really do appreciate when you guys do that.
Appreciate it.
Son of Sarah on Apple Podcast says two guys recapping and discussing For All Mankind in an appreciative and intelligent way. Really enjoy their banter. So thank you for that. 5 stars. Appreciate that. Mr. Wolf.
I don't know. We'll take the rest.
We might be posers, but we can nerd talk our way out of some situations, apparently. Mr. Wolf here, he says more enjoyable than an unfinished Golsora documentary.
That's awesome.
Thank you,
that
Mr. Wolf.
Awesome.
He says, all joking aside, this is a great podcast recapping For All Mankind. It has the right mix of in-depth analysis, banter between friends, and recurring bits. The most impressive thing about this podcast is that this is a labor of love by the hosts, and they do it completely for free. That's a fact. He also says, I always feel more informed after listening to it after a new episode, and the hosts often catch things I miss on my viewing. Highly recommend for All Mankind fans. So thank you, Mr. Wolf.
Thank you.
One other one came in here. This is from Chip. Chip says, he says, great fan podcast. He says, I travel a lot for work and I download this podcast to entertain me for my flights every week. Great and fair convo about my favorite TV show. I like the fact that somebody's in the air and they're listening to this. That just makes me feel even better. Big aviation nerd. Love to hear from you at some point, Chip. Email in and happy to respond to you. Thank you.
Yeah. And we love the reviews. If you have some time, please go to Apple Podcasts or Spotify, wherever. Give us a review. It helps out. Thank you.
We do have a YouTube channel for those who prefer watching or driving down the road. And I do not recommend having YouTube up on your dashboard, but maybe if you're just listening along and you're seeing our ugly mugs, by the way, for those who are watching, I've got the Amaze shirt on today, and probably that pause will just get cut. It's this film called Project Hail Mary that you should totally watch, dude. Have you watched it yet? Give us an update, Brian.
Okay, so I was going to make a bigger deal about this, but last night my wife and I, we had some time.
Okay.
We had about 3 hours to watch something.
Okay.
I got home early, and the kids had some stuff they were doing. So I went onto my TV.
Yep.
And we've got access to all the streaming channels, and we watched, Donnie.
Oh, no. I'm scared.
Send Help.
No.
With,
hey, how was that? She was in The Notebook. Is that
Notebook? But she was in a
Rachel
better
McAdams?
movie called About Time. Rachel McAdams.
How was that? If you've not seen
About Time, is probably in my top 10 of all movies.
Really?
It was good. It was. My wife ended it. She's, I liked it, but people paid to go see this at the movie theaters. That's kind of how I felt. It was really good.
Fair enough.
But it was a good Netflix feature film.
Okay. If you're looking for a freebie and you have Amazon Prime, which, I mean, if you're in America and you buy stuff, you probably have Amazon Prime, which gives you access. I watched the movie Mercy with Chris Pratt and Rebecca Ferguson.
Oh, I did watch that. Yeah.
It was decent.
I watched that.
It was a Prime Video. Like, again, don't watch it in a theater, but it was a decent, fun story.
No, it was a theater release.
It was a theater release, but don't go watch that in the theater. But no, if it's free on Prime, go for it. And it was a decent watch.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
It was amazing as Project Hail Mary, which apparently you still haven't watched, which I don't understand. But I like that you keep this going. Danny Stevens is alive, and Project Hail Mary is not a movie. So keep fighting your battles there, Brian. I don't even know why, but okay.
I'm stubborn, man.
All I had to say, back to the YouTube, we do have a YouTube channel. I think it's, Kings of Media 99 is our handle.
That's right.
So we're out there. People are commenting there too. So just want to acknowledge that in the comments that come in. Minotaur really gave a breakdown for last week's episode. Also, just want to acknowledge here, people have called me out. I'm going to own my own shortcomings here, okay? But I totally missed on calling out the switch to aux thing last week, and that this was a direct callback to the lightning strike to Apollo 12 during ascent after takeoff to the Saturn V rocket. Totally missed it. I'm so sorry. My brain knew that was a thing, and the SCE to aux, and total nod, total callback to that. Totally missed it. Thank you for pointing that out, and I appreciate it.
I did not miss it. I was waiting for you to say it, and you never did. And so I'm with all of you. They call like literally everybody called it out. Right, Donnie was wrong on this. Thank you.
Cancel your subscriptions to this free show.
Yeah.
Don't even listen to us anymore. I have completely undermined any credibility I had. It is completely gone at this point. I am so sorry. I really did let you down, Happy Valley fam. I'm so sorry.
Also, I want to call out Christopher Hedge. I don't know how to say your last name. I'm sorry, but he was just puts a comment on YouTube, and I appreciate it. He just kind of said, I thought that hit me while watching your podcast. What if Avery in the Heart of Chaos kills Lily? I have to point out the lightning hit the hopper, and the solution for it happened to Apollo 12.
Yep.
So he also called you out.
Yeah. And Minotaur also has some theories here that Lily is going to expire before the end of this season. And we can talk about speculation, especially when we're going into 10, because oftentimes there's a big death. We had a death in this episode, and we'll talk about it.
And I just want to say, again, the garbage fire that was season 4, they had no guts, and everybody lived. Like that space battle on the ship.
Yeah.
I forget her name even. It was like Kim or something, where she's like
Sam Massey.
Defying what?
Sam Massey? Is that what we're talking about?
Sam Massey.
Yeah.
She's like defying physics and just fine.
Yeah.
And then Danny's fine and Ed's fine. They had no guts in that season.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get a repeat on that season 5 finale like we did in 4. And I continue to affirm my hot take last week that season 5 is the best season since season 2. I'm doubling down on it based on everything we saw this week. So
I can't commit to that yet. I need to revisit my ranking, but I don't know that it beats season 3 for me, but we'll see.
Okay.
You might be right. I think you might be right.
We did have one email that came in before. This is from Anthony. He says, "Hi, loving your podcast. Great chat and discussion. As a UK listener, I was glad to hear your explanation of CW. I've been thinking about it for weeks, and all I could think was that it meant, quote, cringeworthy, unquote, which I guess also works. 100%, Anthony. Very much cringeworthy." He says, "Oh, and I'm also in the Danny Stevens is Alive camp. Maybe. Actually, no. Although, what a plot twist that would be." He goes on,
get on a side, buddy. Get on a side. Get on my side. Be on the side of truth.
He also says, "As for Irina, you might have mentioned this already, but I was thinking that as an ex-KGB officer running the USSR/Russia is where this is heading to draw a comparison to Putin. Thank you again. Looking forward to this next one, Anthony." Could be. Putin was is KGB former. So are they setting up Irina as the next leader of whatever the next iteration of the Soviet Union is? Don't know.
I don't know. I've got some thoughts on that we'll get into, but yeah, I don't know.
I am trying to temper my expectations going into the finale because there is just so much that I think is still on the board to do, and there's only so much time to do it.
That's exactly where I am.
Okay. Yeah. We can jump ahead to that, but I think we need to dive into this episode. So without any further ado, here's our notes. We open with the wide shot of the Martian surface. We see a bike moving across the surface. We learn here that it's Alex and Lily, and they're taking is this a joyride or is this a patrol?
Yeah, I don't know.
They're not really clear on it, which is fine. But then, Brian, dude, we get this beautiful shot just coming out of the Martian dust. I'm calling them marine dropships. Just this incredible, beautiful scene. We learn that Big Neck and Avery are on one of these ships. We get a tight shot of Avery here looking stoic. But to me, I put in my notes here, not completely dead in the eyes, just focused on mission here.
No, I read that as her terrified.
Okay.
But you didn't, obviously. But her eyes to me said she was terrified.
Okay. I've read it more as like I'm really trying to psych myself up that I'm about to move into a it's no longer training, but this is a real world war scenario. But yeah, I can see where you're coming from with the fear side of it for sure. Also, I just put in my notes here, and this is a nitpick, but how many engines are on these drop ships and how much fuel do they need to be carrying for all of these engines to be firing simultaneously? It was beautiful. It was amazing. But is this like 200 years in the future tech that we're talking about, or is this 2012 alternate universe tech? And it seemed like a stretch for me. I don't even care because they were that beautiful.
Yeah.
And this is where we are in the show at this point. But earlier seasons would explain the science behind all of these engines to me somehow.
They were beautiful, but it was shot so well or orchestrated through CG so well.
Sure.
That just, it was terrifying. Yeah. You just feel the power that was descending onto Happy Valley.
100%. I'm buying it. So well done.
And
Music
at that point, you're like,
visuals, chef's kiss. Incredible.
And I'm still, at this point, I'm still thinking like this is going to be a two-sided thing, but how can it be? And so they played it perfectly. Yep. It was great.
The domination that it should have been, it absolutely was. So made perfect sense. We go right into the opening credits here, and coming out of opening credits, I put here my notes. Meanwhile, on Titan, we have a rover with massive tires and a big inflatable camper. And I have questions about how this all fit in Sojourner. I know it has a big cargo bay, but this thing looks pretty big, and they fit it inside a Sojourner. Whatever. Moving on here, they're a little bit lost, but they're trying to find the Seeker, and we get some funny exchanges here between Kelly and Walt Nut, which he's way less Nut here and way more Walt in this episode.
Yeah, 100%. And I was just like, shut up, Walt, like constantly, like just, yes, the manic was gone. It was just Walt.
He's just Walt, minus the Nut. So they find a Seeker here. It's covered in Tholin. Brian, do you know what Tholin is?
I don't know. I was confused by that.
Okay, great. Because I asked Claude, and it says Tholin is a reddish-brown tar-like organic substance formed with a simple carbon-containing molecules like methane, nitrogen, or water ice when they're exposed to radiation, ultraviolet light, or cosmic rays. The name comes from the Greek word tholos, which means muddy, and was coined by astronomer Carl Sagan. Tholins don't occur naturally on Earth because of our oxygen-rich atmosphere, which breaks them down, but they're found throughout the outer solar system, giving bodies like Pluto, Titan, and many comets and asteroids their characteristic reddish hues. They're of interest to astrobiologists because tholins contain complex organic compounds, including amino acid precursors, making them potentially relevant to the origin of life chemistry. So apparently whatever that is all over this robot. So, and apparently it would be appropriate in a Titan atmosphere. So I thought of all the nerd things you could throw in, thank you for teaching me something new that I had to go research. So good job, writers. Thank you. I appreciate it.
What do you know what the gravity on Titan would be like? I have that off the top of your head?
I checked it, and I think it was like 1/7 of Earth. Okay. So very lightweight, dense atmosphere, more dense than Earth's, but the gravity itself much lower because it's a much smaller mass compared to Earth.
What is the moon?
The moon is 1/6. So similar to the moon.
Okay.
Close. I put here notes. They're collecting the sample. They're putting it in the lab. Walt, not with the steadiest of hands here, but also Kelly is hovering over him this whole time. And I hate when people are hovering over me and I'm trying to type. And then all of a sudden I go from being able to type 60 words a minute to 20 because somebody's standing over me. I hate that. And Kelly is totally doing that throughout this entire thing. I don't know if it's a trust thing or she's just so focused on, what's the result going to be? What's the result going to be? That she was like, she was inside of his personal halo. That's all I'm saying. Back up there, Kelly. I put here fun science test time. Walt Nut acting relatively normal. There's this also the other lady. Her name's Elena, but is she French? Have you picked up on this?
I don't know. I couldn't tell.
I don't think she's Russian, but her name's Elena.
She's supposed to be Russian.
I'm so confused.
She sounded French.
See, I thought maybe she was like an ESA kind of representative, not Russian. But I don't know. But her name's Elena, which also doesn't seem very French to me. So I'm questioning all of my preconceived notions about this. And I
assume everybody's American or Russian or North Korean.
But they're not. There's lots of other representatives out there, but it's so confusing sometimes in the story. But whatever. She's getting a call from Sojourner. They've had no contact with Mars, Brian. And it's over an hour late getting any type of word. Also,
and they need their trajectories.
Dude, this is my nitpick with the whole Titan plot this episode. You're on Titan for 6 more months and you're worried about the return trajectories right now. all of the drama with Kelly specifically, and this is not a criticism of Kelly as an actor, but some of the writing is just so clunky related to Kelly this season.
Yeah.
And like, why are you freaking out about return trajectories when you've got 6 months to study and learn before you're going to go back to, because you don't have the fuel right now to leave. Like, why are we worrying about this right now? Such a throwaway line from a not super magic pilot. Whatever. I'm so frustrated with the Kelly storyline. Of all the things in this season, this is the thing that I'm frustrated about.
Okay.
Meanwhile, at Happy Valley, it's all hitting the fan, is what I put in my notes here. Yep. Miles is on the comms calling for people to join the fight. By the way, we don't see Miles at all in this episode. Totally fine with that. Just observing. No Aleda whatsoever. No Moxie. Totally appropriate. I'm totally good with that. And I like the way they tell the story.
I loved it. And even having Miles just over the intercom was great. It was great.
Yes. Totally well done. Alex
and go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, Alex and Lily here, they're joining the fight. And this is where all the lights go out. And we cut over to the scene with Jack Black at the reactor, as he is now the first POW. Big Neck and Avery and company are over there, and they have secured the reactor. They're turning off the power to try to cause chaos and calamity. It's totally espionage kind of stuff that I would expect to be their first objective if they're going to take Happy Valley.
Yeah, I was like, they're screwed. Like yep. Because you just, again, I was expecting this two-sided fight, and I'm like, oh no, that's not what this is going to be. Okay, here we go. Let's go. I love the barricade, it's useless,
right?
But they're putting a fight up, but I can't find the word, but like it's hopeless, and it's farmers putting up a fight against Marines.
Yeah, trained elite military force.
Yeah,
we do get a shot at the reactor building, wherever that is, of Avery here. I did put in my notes here that I did feel like she was still shaken about the shocking scene from last week. To your point earlier, I'll own it here. She looks visibly shaken now that she's in a combat zone. She's blaming the SDM. She's pulling the Free Mars poster off the wall. We also just get an important crumb here about the secret password and the hoorah stuff here as well. So you need to know the password, you need to know the response, or else things might go poorly for you in the near future.
The only thing with Miles that bothered me is like he talks about fighting off the attack, and it's, do you not know where you're at right now? Yeah. Surrender. Get on your knees.
Yeah.
What are you going to fight?
And that's the thing, like going into episode 10, like I don't know what the outcome here is going to be. And like, I love that. And I'm totally okay with that going into it. But I just have no idea how this is all going to play out based on how this transpires here, because it looks incredibly bleak. Yeah. We do get Marines now. They're sweeping the hallways. Miles is on the speakers, again, calling for more volunteers. He's telling others to shelter in place. The weapons are being handed out. Who's got military experience? And only a couple of people raise their hands. Like, it's very limited. Again, just laying the groundwork here that these are farmers. Lily is going to identify as media. She's going to tape the whole thing. Alex takes a gun, however apprehension he might have at this point. I just put in my notes here. He clearly doesn't know what he's doing. He's pointing a gun. They're like, well, put the gun down. Don't touch the trigger.
And again, it's telling the story of that's who the Marines are fighting. These guys don't know not to point your weapon at somebody.
Exactly. And I was thinking about this too. As there's a ton of hallway scenes with just Marines walking around sweeping stuff. But it did take me back to where I was eye rolling early on in the season about Aleda being hungover, complaining about walking to Helios and how long it was taking. They were trying to shorthand us into saying this is a really big base and there's a lot of turf to cover and it's going to take them a little while and there's going to be a lot of skirmishes.
They can't show that on screen,
right?
That this is a big place. We think 20 people live here if you go off of what's on screen, but
yeah.
Oh. Yeah, and this is, I clocked the same thing. I put in my notes like, where are the rubber bullets?
Yeah, because this is the scene now with the first shot. The first guy goes down, and it's a shot to the face, and it's not a rubber bullet. I do,
and I love it too because they don't know the game they're playing at this point.
Right,
the guy's standing up, exposed.
Right,
and
this is not laser tag,
shot to the face.
Not laser tag.
Yeah, Yeah.
This kind of felt like laser tag back in the 90s. This is what I'm thinking this is going to be. And no, it's war. We get a tight shot of Alex's face. It's just the shock of now he's experiencing, okay, this is real. And I like how in this scene, they cut between what's happening and what's happening from Lily's camera. I thought that was really well done.
Yeah.
And Brian, if there is any out, I'm going to go ahead and say it now, is all of this footage that Lily's capturing. How does this get back to Earth media? Which, by the way, again, no Earth media in this episode whatsoever. Everything happened on Mars and Titan, no Earth. If there is going to be an out with public sympathy and that kind of thing, it's going to be the footage that Lily's camera has captured, like in this episode.
Yeah.
So we'll see. This is where Boyd now arrives and is calling everybody to retreat. Alex and Lily get separated in all of this. We also learn here that there's French Marines that are a part of this group, and Alex successfully hides as Lily and some other people are able to get away with Boyd. And I thought that Lily here is documenting Boyd's leadership very well.
Yeah. Yeah, and even it bothered me a little, but then I liked it that Lily's documented with the camera and Boyd is never annoyed by it.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like Boyd should have been like, get your freaking head down. But she just kind of like rolls with it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I do think they're going to come back around on all that footage, and it's going to be a linchpin in this whole thing. Meanwhile, back on Titan, the findings are still inconclusive, which is the Seeker probe had this inconclusive data, and now their data also is agreeing that it's inconclusive, which as a viewer, this still makes no sense to me. I don't understand where they're going with this. I hope there's a point to why this is still inconclusive at this point. I also put in my notes here, Kelly just staring weirdly pouty like at screens, which again, I have a lot of Kelly criticism this episode. I just do.
It's your misogyny.
Yes, because
bubbling up.
I don't have a wife and a daughter and a dog that's a female and a cat that's a female at my house. I am outnumbered and outgunned. And yes, I'm just a misogynist.
You got a female friend, so you're fine. Yeah, whatever.
Outnumbered and outgunned in my house.
So that's what it is. This is you fighting being outnumbered.
I'm taking it out on
taking
night landings on the Connie lady. Here we are.
It is interesting. Like Walt is in, so he doesn't want to go back.
Yeah, he's on board.
He's on board. Yeah,
totally. But yeah, this inconclusive thing. Here's my theory. We're reading it as inconclusive data, but it's because we're interpreting a life form that we don't even understand. We don't have any basis for trying to compare it to anything that we have seen before. So the evidence it's a completely foreign language to us because we don't even know what language we're supposed to be speaking at this point. This is my theory.
You texted that to me. I think you're a little wrong. You might be right. You do more of the Reddits and Discords, but we do know Star Trek, there can be different forms of life, whatever, but we know the basic building blocks and that's what they're looking for. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I was fine with it.
Yeah. Ultimately here, the conclusion is we need more data. And hold on a sec. This is the valley where maybe it was from, and then that means it came from this uphill place. So let's go rock climbing. Hooray. On another planet. Meanwhile, back on Mars, we get to see here that Avery is doing some marine stuff. I put in my notes here, more skirmishes. Avery gets her first kill. And I just put in my notes here, Brian. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, these citizens, they just never stood a chance. And we do get to see Avery's reaction here as well, and she's shaken.
The sound design, when she does shoot, it like goes silent and muffled.
Okay.
And it's so well done because it punctuates the feeling that she's having. She is not a bloodthirsty Marine.
Right.
You've got the one Marine that's like standing over a dead body and kind of laughing. She is traumatized, and it was so well done.
Yeah. To your point, that quote there, I expected more of a fight. I'm like,
yeah,
dude, come on.
He says it with a smile. Yeah.
Yeah. Come on, dude.
And the other thing I noted is that suit on Avery does nothing to make her look like an adult. She looks like a little kid in her dad's Marine outfit.
Oh, I'm curious to see where Danny pops up in this episode for you. So please chime in whenever you feel like you get to that point. Meanwhile, the fighting has moved away from where Alex was hiding. So he comes out, and I don't know her name. So I put here Asian council lady. She is shot. She's on the floor. And Alex goes into full field medic mode here. He finds him some duct tape, and he gets her patched up enough to be able to get to the med bay. So good on you, Alex. Good job, man.
Good on you. I feel like we're being force fed Alex as a medic, but it's fine.
Yeah, it helps the story move on with this episode, and I'm totally fine with it. Meanwhile, back on Titan, Elena, French lady, now is climbing up the cliff face, and she's really bad at a drill, which it was just strange because she starts the spinning before she ever has actually lined up with the rock, and then it does this weird jump thing, and then she gets it in the rock, and that really bothered me, so much so that I put it in my notes. She sees something odd, Brian, that looks like liquid coming from a fissure that's also glowing with lots of question marks.
Yeah. And we'll get to this later, but it was so awkward. Like Kelly looks at her and is, you're going to do it, right? And she was like, oh yeah, I am going to do it. And it was like, why is it assumed that this is what she would want to do? I don't know. It was weird. But it gets even weirder as the scene goes on. Yeah,
so Elena wants a better look at it. So she's going to try to reposition herself or shimmy across the cliff face or something. And she's, oh, wait, I'm hurt. I punctured my suit. And then Kelly's going to have to climb and help her. It was weird.
It was so weird. Yeah, it really was like, hey, you okay up there? No, I hurt my leg.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
It was such a weird take. And to me, this is one of those, it's limited budget and we're not going to show it. So we're going to do the off camera thing. But this is really clunky and awkward this time.
Like she's just standing up there.
She's rappelling or whatever. She's hanging by a rope. But the whole thing seemed a little bit weird. But whatever. Moving on here. Meanwhile, back on Mars, the Marines are just dominating. I put in my notes here. Boyd trying to sneak around to safety when she runs into no other than our man Palmer. Dum-dum.
Yep.
Palmer's back in the fray, and apparently he's just running around in Happy Valley now. He's no longer at the Helios compound.
Yeah, and I don't even want to hear Jade's little remarks about this episode because we had a broken Palmer the last 2-3 episodes, and then now we're back to cartoon villain Palmer.
Big time.
Yeah.
But, and here's, I'm going to go ahead and say it now, but cartoon is the perfect way to say it, Brian, because this whole time it's like he's trying to be more self-important than he really is. Because if I had a dime for every time he goes, Aesop, this is Fenwick 2 on the radio the whole time. Hey, Aesop, I'm important and my name's Fenwick 2 and I'm just reporting in for you. We're on our way. We're moving towards the meetup point. The whole time it's like, hey, I'm really important. And it was so cartoonish. Aesop, this is Fenwick 2.
You do a great impression.
Oh, thank you very much. Also, just put in my notes here, he has zero love for Lily. He's blaming her for the leak here. And he's playing just a bunch of mind games with her. I still don't know about you, but I don't understand where he's coming from with the whole blaming Miles like he was the turncoat or whatever. I still don't get that. What is your angle with that, dude? Is there more to it with Miles than what we got at face value with he was coerced by torture, or is he just continuing to double down and triple down and quadruple down on this argument to try to, I don't know, prove that he's right somehow?
I think part of it, again, this is cartoon villain Palmer, but he's going to look at Miles as a rat. Mm-hmm. Even though he's his rat, he's still a rat.
Yeah.
And you don't respect a rat. Even if they're the ones feeding you information, like you will turn on me if somebody gives you $1 more. Like that's kind of the idea.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. We also establish here that Beardy Fred is with them. He's trying to be all nice to Boyd and Boyd isn't having any of it. So I'm with you, Boyd. Whatever, dude. Meanwhile, at the med bay, Adema compliments Alex for saving the Asian lady council lady's life. Alex learns that Lily didn't make it to her checkpoint, And we establish here that the medical supplies are running out. They're out of saline at this point. They are not a field medic hospital at this point. They don't have anything that they need. And Alex offers to go get it. I know where they've got supplies. They're over at Helios. And maybe I know enough about tunnels and sneaking that I can find my way in there. Also, just putting my notes here, Dima calls for this lady to give him a list of like how much stuff they need, and it's like she just had this piece of prop paper that she just hands to him immediately. They were just waiting for somebody to ask for the list.
Do we have any more of this? No. Write it down.
She's here.
Add that to the list.
Dear extra, please hand paper to Alex so that we can move this story forward.
Yeah. No, that was clunky too. I had the same thought.
It's nitpicks, y'all, but this is why it was an 8.5 for me. This kind of stuff.
Yeah, whatever. We also have Dima calling Alex a kid.
Yeah.
Like, you are a kid.
You are a kid. Alex says, when I was in the tunnels, I was confident. I'm confident I can do it because this is what I did when I was a kid. Dima says, you are a kid. Oh, yeah. I love it. I love Dima. Please don't kill Dima in episode 10. Please.
Don't kill Dima.
Meanwhile, here, this is the scene with Palmer now playing mind games with Lily. I just put here in my notes, good cop garbage. Palmer uses the Miles as a rat angle again. And this is, to me, still the most useless plot line that he has. And Aesop again on the radio. This cartoon villain. Whatever, Palmer. Your end is coming here, man.
Spoilers.
Meanwhile, back on Titan here, Kelly gets Elena all bandaged up, begins lowering her down, and Kelly sees the blue smoke stuff shimmering. Brian, what is that? What are we seeing here, dude?
I think it's space fish. I think it's space fish.
You said you texted me this. What is space fish? Please tell me what this means.
Like fish, but in space. So that is my call. I'm going to say space fish. No, the two interesting things here. One, Kelly wanted to go up the whole time. They wanted Kelly up the whole time. Right. The manufactured, I ripped off screen. I ripped my suit was so silly. Sure. Just put Kelly up there. We all know Kelly wants to be the one that finds life.
100%.
So the other interesting thing is they're looking for like microbes, or that's probably the wrong word, but
yeah, no, fair.
I think they're going to find something more substantial, and I think that's what we're pointing to.
Holy cow!
It might be algae, it might be something like that, but I think it would be amazing if it was like an actual organism. Probably not possible, but
maybe not mammal, but something kind of like a mammal on Earth kind of thing. Is that what you're saying?
A space fish.
A space fish.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I have no idea where they're going with that, but I think we're going to get some sort of payoff next week. And it's not going to be a blue smoke monster.
At any point through this, at any point were you like, there's going to be a little green man up there, or they're going to go over the ridge and there's going to be houses? Did you have that feeling at all?
I didn't. That would be really...
I knew it was stupid.
Oh,
yeah.
That would be so jumping the shark at this point.
I know it would. But I just kept thinking there's going to be something way bigger that doesn't fit here. And then I was like, it wouldn't fit here, so they're not going to do it.
It's like Galaxy Quest kind of stuff.
Yeah. But I just had that feeling.
Civilization. Oh, gosh. I hope not. I hope not.
They're not going to do that.
Yeah. I don't know where they're going with this story, and I love it, and I'm here for it. But please don't jump the shark with it.
Speaking of, is BSG creator...
Ron Moore.
Is Ron Moore still active in this project?
His name is in it. I don't think that he is involved in the day-to-day. So probably if this is like a racy matrix, he's probably informed, but I don't even know if he's consulted at this point. Like he's way over on the racy matrix. So yeah, but I don't know that for a fact. Please
brought up his name. What?
I said, if you please tell us an email. Yeah. What's this level of involvement there?
His name came up 100 times in other seasons, and maybe not at all last season, but I was just thinking, this is his show.
I feel like the last two seasons have been the other two showrunners, more the DV, and I'm blanking on the other gentleman's name, and that really makes me Wolpert and the DV. I feel like are the two really main ones at this point. I also put here, meanwhile, back at Mars, the Marine domination just continues. They get to the governor at this point, and Gerardo's there. And what did you think about this scene? The governor's like, real quick, hey, I'm the governor. I'm with you guys, blah, blah, blah. How much of that is a ruse and how much of that is he really is like betraying Gerardo?
No, it's a ruse. Yeah. And you just, it's kind of clunky the way they played out, but you got to remember that the governor has switched sides to the rebels.
Yeah.
He is part of the rebels at this point, but the Marines and the government, they don't know that.
They don't know that. Exactly.
So he is playing the game, and that's why he kind of gives Gerardo a look of shut up.
Right.
Just stop.
Right. So I think to the governor's credit, don't let Gerardo in on your play here so that his reaction really does come off as genuine. And it really did feel very genuine at that point.
Yeah.
So
no, and I 3 episodes, I would have said he's switching sides. I think he is now in it.
Yeah.
You got to remember he can
be the most use behind enemy lines, and he has a key to get in, basically.
He's the one that blew up the station.
Right.
He's in.
Yeah. So again, I think next week's an hour and 20 minutes, and they've got a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah.
And I don't know that they're going to fit everything in that I expect in my brain. So again, trying to just temper my expectations, but also my hype is really high going into it at this point.
Yeah.
We also, at this point, we hear that Big Neck and Avery here are going to take the other group of Gerard and those other people back to processing. This is where Alex now, he's moving through hallways and he hears people coming and he's going to climb into a vent. Palmer here, he's trying to call Aesop and Aesop's not responding anymore. And just as they're walking by, Beardy keeps Boyd and the others, Lily and the others, back away from this. But of course, at this point, Alex makes the sound over by the vent that causes all of the MPKs to walk in, and they're going to meet their demise because, Brian, here comes the Marines.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're calling the secret word here. And I'm curious on your take here, because Palmer is not in the loop on the secret password.
Yeah, he doesn't know it.
He doesn't know it. So they just open fire. No questions asked. Was it intentional that they did not inform the M6 assets in Happy Valley about the secret password? Was that intentional? Or has there just been no communication whatsoever between the Helios M6 people and the people on the Bradford and all of the Marine forces? We established that they have comms. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was just sloppy on the Marines' part. I don't think they expected to see them in Happy Valley like that.
Fair.
And again, it was realistic because if you say the secret word and they don't say it back, like you got flashlights and your faces on each side.
Right.
Like it's kill or be killed.
Right.
And
they open fire
and it doesn't matter.
Mow them down.
And if you're yelling, we're okay, it's like we're cool. Like, no, you're dead. Like,
yeah.
So
Alex is in shock. He's witnessing all of this from inside the vent once the scene is clear. Oh, by the way, just before this, just acknowledging, Fred also tells Boyd and company to take off. So,
dude,
fascinating.
And he tells them to take off. As they're taking off, the shooting happens.
Yeah.
And you see the hallway.
Yeah.
And just the flashes from the side room.
Yeah.
Oh,
so well done.
So good.
I'm going to go ahead and ask it now. Do you think Boyd and Lily make it out of this season? Separate questions. Does Boyd make it out of this season? Does Lily make it out of this season? Yeah.
I question whether Boyd makes it.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people are speculating that Lily won't, but they need her. They need the blood for next season.
Yeah.
I think like Alex, Lily, Big Neck, I think are all safe.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't know about Lily at this point. I think either her or Boyd are not going to make it, and I don't know which one is which at this point. Just based on how everything's setting up.
Boyd's a bigger name, and I think she's a little expendable.
Yeah, that could be.
In terms of the overall story.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. We get Alex now coming out of the vent, and he finds Lily's camera there. The LCD's broken on it, and Alex basically takes off and keeps moving.
At this point, I know Jade, one of longtime listeners from the beginning, who is wrong on a lot of stuff. I know she freeze framed Palmer's dead-eyed face and just kind of like just put it as her phone's background because she was so happy.
Oh man, the man met his end. We've had some big deaths in episode 9s. This was a significant one for sure. Not as big as Sergei last year, but it was a big death.
Okay, you're right. I did say they didn't have the guts to kill anybody last season. Yes, we did have Sergei, and that was
we had Sergei,
huge.
But it was a side quest. If anything,
but that was an Earth thing. Earth was great last season. So.
Fair enough. Yeah. Meanwhile, here, Big Neck and Avery connect up with other M6ers and other Marines. They're arguing about directions and orders. And Avery was thinking on the fly here and we have our orders and we're going to keep going this way because Big Neck / Haskell here is, dude, I know this place and the direction you're going is the wrong direction. I don't know if he was like messing with them at that point or if he really is right and you guys are idiots and you're doing the wrong thing. I kind of lean towards that.
I think he was right.
Yeah.
I don't understand this though, other than to split them off,
right,
and get the prisoners off of them.
Yeah,
it was weird.
I think it's really, to your point, it really was just set up for that final scene, which we're now transitioning to because they're going to head down into a tunnel. Haskell gets down there and he sees his initials on the wall, so we just kind of get just reaffirming, reminding us that he is a part of this community. This was home for him. He's home. Exactly. Yeah. Alex is in these tunnels here. Brian,
I love.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you might say the same thing.
Okay, you had finished watching this before I did, so at this point,
let me say my thing first.
Beat. Okay, go ahead.
You might be jumping ahead.
Okay.
I love the dichotomy between Avery and Big Neck and Alex.
Okay.
And they're just like methodically going over corners, like just sweeping the place.
Yeah.
And Alex is just clunky, clumsy,
not trained,
untrained.
Right.
I just love that dichotomy of these two groups converging. One absolutely knows what they're doing. One has no clue what he's doing. That was great.
Oh, great insight. Totally agree with what you're saying. And so at this point, when all of that clunkiness / mastery is sweeping the underground tunnels, I texted Brian and I said, Alex is going to shoot Big Neck. I called it. For the record, it's integrity move here. Okay, I promise, I really did.
Here's
I can't prove it, but I'm like, Alex.
Here's the thing. I believe.
Go ahead.
You don't lie like that. I believe you.
But I'm going to agree with what you're about to say because I know where you're going. Go ahead, please.
I had this thought. I was like, oh, this is so great. The dichotomy between them. They know exactly what they're doing. He has no idea what they're doing.
Yep.
How the heck?
Yeah.
Does Alex shoot Big Neck?
Doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen.
100 out of 100 times in that scenario.
Alex is dead. Alex is headshot.
Big Neck puts down Alex in a heartbeat. No questions asked.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're totally right. You're totally right. It's not the story they want to tell because we need to find a way to get Avery and Alex and Big Neck all on the same side, and this was the mechanism to do it. This is the only really way out for Alex at this point. So this is what they did. But I'm buying it at this point because Alex puts the gun down. By the time Avery gets there, her friend, her colleague is down. He's been hit. Alex is there. He also clearly knows friend / colleague, and he knows enough medical stuff that he's trying to help. So at this point, Avery, she does a quick sweep to see if they're clear, and then she lets her guard down and becomes human in that moment, which to me, that part of this sequence is incredibly believable.
It was, and it was beautiful. I kind of think that maybe she would have shot him in the face when he was standing over Big Neck.
She was yelling. He was yelling his name. So
he was yelling his name, but fog of war. Are you thinking about that?
Right. Thank goodness she took a beat because otherwise, again, Alex is dead.
But still, we could have had the same thing with Alex getting shot in the shoulder or the stomach.
Right.
And then saying, hey, I know where we need to go. Right. We could have had the same thing, but to your point, it's fine.
By the way, I'm just looking at the wounds. Haskell was hit in the shoulder and the leg. Those don't look like fatal wounds at this point. So I'm assuming based on Alex's strategy here, I'm going to try to get him to the Helios where all the supplies are, that Haskell's going to get through this. I think he's going to be fine.
I think so.
Yeah. Which then, of course, leads to this final scene now of them basically at the door staring into the security camera as he just yells, "Tell Dev to let us in right now," as Dev gives the nod to let him in, and just Alex doing this death stare into the security camera. Roll credits.
Yeah. It was, and that was very reminiscent of the Lock the Doors.
Yeah.
Ending of episode 7, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So let me ask you this. I want to know what you think about Dev specifically. I want
to know what you think about Dev, but go ahead.
I want to hear from you. What is is there a redemption path for Dev in episode
That was
10?
my question to you.
I want to know what you think.
So here's what I think.
Okay.
I think you can think what you think is right,
mm-hmm.
and you can think what you think will happen in the show.
Yeah.
And those are two different things.
Yeah.
What will happen in the show, I think, is what I assumed would happen. And I've been wrong once or twice in my predictions, and Jade's going to say I'm wrong, but I think he is going to calm this down. I think Dev is going to be the cooler head, I think.
Interesting. Okay.
We had no Dev other than that one shot in 2 episodes.
Right.
I might be wrong on that. I don't know. But that's my gut, is like, we're bringing Dev into the story for some reason.
It's a possible outcome. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I'm continuing to double down on there's no redemption path for Dev. However, I'm pointing my finger at this point. However, I do think that they could set up a hero savior death for him. Is there going to be some scenario in episode 10 about the nuclear reactor is about to overheat and melt, and I'm going to have to duct tape suit my way across the surface and die a horrible death to find my redemption? I think there's a path, not for redemption for Dev living. I think there's there's a scenario for him to die a redemptive death. We'll see.
Okay, counterpoint. I think Dev knows this place better than anybody else.
Fair.
The Marines have obviously outmatched the farmers.
Mm-hmm.
I could see maybe Dev doing okay, here's what we need to do. Ghost protocol or whatever, and give the farmers the upper hand. That could be his redemption of.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I do not know where we're going in episode 10, and I love it.
Got totally his for that. Big red button he pushes, and
the easy button.
No, what are the robots? The Tesla robots.
Oh, Optimus robots.
Optimus bots. Okay. The side panels come out. The Optimus bots come out, and suddenly we're
the droid army from Star
saving
Wars.
These. Yeah. And they have their little laser swords, and they chop up the Marines, and
Bluefish and Star Wars robots with lightsabers.
Yeah.
This is where we are, Brian. Wow. Okay. Where's Danny going to pop up?
I'm going to say it's suspicious, but again, we're saving it for the last episode. There was no Danny reference in this episode.
Okay.
But again, which just underscores the point that Danny will come back.
Okay. They're
doing the whole jab, look over here, and then Danny reveal.
Got it. Okay. We'll see. I will say it was a very tight story that was contained to Happy Valley and a Titan, and that was it. There was nothing else. There was no time. There was no bandwidth for any other story here. And very well done.
All right.
We got a lot of email here to cover, Brian, so I'm going to dive right into it here. This first one is from Suzanne. Suzanne says, long-time listener, first-time caller. Excellent. Thank you, Suzanne. She says, a relevant hot take. I'm not an Alex fan. He's a Nepo baby. He advances the storylines as the baby born practically in space, and he's got the astronaut lineage. Wow. So when we started with him out riding his dirt bike, when the government's coming and there's a dust storm in the middle of a hostage situation, I really wasn't that impressed. I do recognize his place in the story, and I did finally come around to Margot, and then they got rid of her. So maybe I can do the same with Alex. Also, that final scene, she's asking the question here, is Dev now on a redemption arc, or is he doomed at this point? So great question. Same things we're asking, Suzanne.
Yeah, I will say I am not completely sold on Alex. He's probably the weakest to me of the new blood.
Okay.
And I think making him a medic is a mistake. Like, I know they're trying to subvert expectations on this.
Sure.
Dad's a pilot, or grandpa's a pilot, mom's a pilot. I'm going to be a medic.
Right.
It feels very, I don't know.
Yeah.
Subversive, but not in a good way.
I could still just another comment about Alex and Avery specifically. In my head canon, they both, when they were little kids, they both lived in Houston. Their moms were at least acquaintances. They could have had some play dates at the playground or something to where they should, granted, Avery's in full gear right now, but do they recognize each other? Do they know who each other? Okay.
No.
Yeah. So that's interesting to me.
Yeah, that it is.
Carrie also emailed in. Hey, Carrie, says, good day. Greetings and good day, Donnie Bob and Brian Bob. This week's episode was amazing. I give it a solid 9. It was a fantastic opening with M6 military ships on their final approach to Happy Valley. It had Empire Strikes Back vibes. Totally can see that. Love it. It says, I really liked the flip-flopping between the invasion and battle scenes on Mars and the mission on Titan. The battle scenes were brutal and bloody. I totally wasn't expecting the bloody massacres of civilians. And the ending with Alex first shooting his old friend Haskell and then trying to save him was piece de resistance. And I said it that way because he says here, you got to say it with Pepe Le Pew. So there you go. That's my best attempt. That's all I got. He says, I can't wait for next week's episode. I get a feeling that the Marsies are going to turn it around in some miraculous way, probably involving Dev, the governor, Irina, Miles, and of course, Alex. Maybe this is where Danny Stevens appears and helps save Mars by sacrificing himself. Thank you. I just have no idea how the Marsies are going to pull it off.
Go ahead, sorry.
He goes on to talk about Titan here. He says, and maybe Kelly and her science crew will discover life on Titan, which will set Titan up to be featured heavily in season 6. Perhaps.
Yeah, I think it's a foregone conclusion that they're going to find life. I think that it's been talked about for 3 seasons. It's got to happen. Or I guess 2. I guess this will be the 3rd season. But I also, all the big pieces for Happy Valley, for the Marsies, are still in place.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot they can do with that.
Yeah, that's fair. Jason also emailed in and says, hi, Brian and Donnie, longtime listener, first time write-in. This will be a bit long and rambly, so no need to read any or all of this. I did cut a little bit of it, but I'll tell you where I cut. He says, first off, I wanted to say thank you for doing the Happy Valley podcast. The two of you managed the right balance between informative and entertaining. Thank you. He says, the Danny Lives bit has even seeped into my brain to the point that in episode 8, when AJ turned a hallway corner at Kuznetsov Station, I fully expected her to run into her father, who would be there then to sacrifice himself to save her from that bomb.
What does he mean, bit? I don't understand. What bit?
I love your dedication, Brian. Never change. He says, as for this week's episode, oh my gosh, 10 out of 10. And the dad, quote, stand in front of the TV for the last 30 minutes, unquote, scale. So love it. He was totally into it. Best penultimate episode since season 1 question? Totally agree. I think it was as well. He says, I do agree with your opinion that season 5 has delivered more than seasons 3 and 4 to this point. I have my gripes with this season that I'll save for another time, but it's done the best of introducing new characters beyond the original cast that I can invest in.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree with you more. Totally on point there, Jason. He goes into some detail about that as well that I'll just skip here. He does say, I don't think that this is where the finale will ultimately go, because I'm leaning towards Chekhov's / Lily's videotape being the thing that breaks through Earth's propaganda to garner sympathy from Mars. But the undercurrent of this season and wealth through the whole show reminds me of a quote from Contact. You are an interesting species, an interesting mix. You're capable of such beautiful dreams and such horrible nightmares, unquote. It's a good take. I like that. He says, Mars forever, justice for Samantha Massey. Regards, Jason. So we'll see. Jordan also emailed in. He says, hey guys, I'm still loving this podcast. Not sure if I'm more addicted to the show, which makes me want to listen to your podcast, or if I watch the show because I'm addicted to your podcast. That's a really nice compliment. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Glad that you confirmed that you're going to do the podcast for Star City, even though you haven't. I am spreading that truth. So thank you. He says, on another note, my wife has not seen Field of Dreams either and thinks that Danny is going to save the day in the final episode. So I am starting to think, I'm starting to think that this is the missing link in their brains and makes them think that Danny is alive.
You married well. I'll just say that.
She said, I finally told her that this guy on a podcast thinks that Danny is alive too. And she said, see, he has his own podcast about the show. So he knows more than we do. So now she's all in on this Danny being alive thing.
That's great. That's great.
Oh, it's great. Well done. Some good tongue in cheek he has here. He says, P.S. I finally saw this Hail Mary thing you guys are talking about. I saw this book at Barnes and Nobles. It sounds like they're making a movie based on the book next year. Heard it starring Ryan Reynolds. Should be good. Just thought you guys might want to know. Hopefully they release this movie in IMAX.
That sounds good. What is it? What's the name of the book?
Something Hail Mary, apparently, and some place called Barnes and Nobles, plural, not Barnes and Noble, has it. So
I may check that book out. That sounds like an interesting book.
Very good. It also says PSS, wonder if they will ever bring up the fact that Danny essentially killed Alex's dad. They could be enemies. So interesting angle.
That would make his return complicated.
Fair. But I don't think that they're really going to bring that up with Alex and Avery. It's true. It is a fact, but I don't think it's really a detail that they're going to circle back around to. That's just my personal guess. A few more emails here. Brad, he says, hey guys, love this episode. Solid 8 out of 10 for me. The cold open invasion scenes got me hooked after just that first minute of the episode. And then Brad goes into kind of his beat by beat, which he's been sending us on a weekly basis. So thank you, Brad. I appreciate that. To wrap it up, he says this. He says, I hope the finale keeps this good momentum going and ends strong. They are all still ignoring the timeline stuff. I agree. He says 100%. Here, I don't know where they end up with a season ending preview and a season 6 time jump. Because, we should get that as well this next week. They have a lot to wrap up and figure out with the season finale. Will that blue shimmer on Titan be enough to cool the tensions on Mars? Will Sojourner return to Mars before the season's over? Much to figure out in an hour and 10 minutes next week. And I cannot wait to hear the Jade Shade score and see what you guys think. Thank you. Thoughts about that? We're going to get a time jump. I don't even want to speculate at this point about what that time jump's going to be or what year it's going to be. It's going to be in the 2020s. We know that. But beyond specifics, I have no clue. I don't know what the song's going to be. I don't know enough about modern music to be able to tell you what it's going to be. I drive in silence. I listen to Daniel Pemberton's score from this film called Project Hail Mary. My daughter asked my 16-year-old, and she says probably K-pop, but okay. We'll see.
Yeah, it's good. It's so hard to guess because there's so much that needs to happen or could happen.
Right.
I think, to your point, RFK is not president at this point.
JFK Jr., to be clear.
JFK Jr. And so he's not president at this point.
Right.
So I think it's likely the tape goes to Earth. That causes some ripples. JFK Jr. becomes president. Irina becomes king of Russia, whatever.
Right.
There's all this stuff, but who knows, man?
Who knows? So much ground to cover in such a short amount of time. Yeah, I'm trying to lower my expectations around what happens Earthside because we just have not seen Earth. That's not a story they're really wanting to tell or they haven't wanted to tell this season. So I'm
okay with that because last season Earth was the only interesting thing.
True.
Now it's let's make Mars interesting. Let's make the space part of this interesting.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
They've totally nailed it. If that was the objective, they've absolutely checked that box and say, okay, we did it. We knocked it out. Bravo. But yeah, I want at least give me answers to 2 Earth questions. Who's the next president after Bragg? And where are we on the calendar to decide point number 1-5? And then number 2, what's happening with the USSR? So are we getting some new iteration of the Russian Federation like we did in our timeline, or what? So I do want to know those 2 things.
Yeah.
A couple more emails. This first one's Corey, and then we'll get to Jade. But Corey says this. He says, I raised my rating up because I felt that I underrated the last episode, being too conservative. I think that I like this episode better. It had this gritty, hopeless combat feel that harkened back to Battlestar Galactica days. So totally true. Yeah. It felt so right given the situation. Couldn't agree more, Corey. It goes on to say this. He says, I'm not terribly surprised about the real bullets between the media betraying this as a terrorist action, plus the dead Marine. Again, like I said before, Earth has no problem letting Mars starve. I really think blowing up the platform was a bait to bring the Marines down and force the conflict. It may not be how Polivanov and Arena wanted it done, but I think they wanted the conflict escalated as well as their coup plan. Of course, there is a chance that this is an elaborate ruse by Arena. She puts off all this blame on Polivanov and Miles and walks away in a position to be the next leader of the USSR. Possible. Palmer's death was glorious. I had words for his death, but they were not PG, so I did not write them. He also says Dev is also unredeemable. My question is, who ends him and how? I think his best chance at a redemption arc, quote unquote, is to pull a Gordo and Tracy season 2 moment and repair something, saving everyone and dying in the process. So, yep, we're thinking on the same page there, Corey. I'm on your page on that one. I agree on the quote unquote 9 episode mark. I told him in an earlier email that I felt like this was as good. This was up there with Bent Bird, the first season, being a hard one to top, but this was right there at second. Looking forward to your podcast and breakdown. Bye, Bob.
Thank you.
All right. And now the moment of truth, the Jade email. Last but certainly not least, Jade says what to say. No cringeworthy side songs, dances, or films this week, were there? I actually don't know if I can give it a score. It was an absolute depressing mess. It was basically just kids killing kids and kids reacting to people being killed. I thought that, and then the doc actually said, I don't know the futility of war and it being also of the moment, and the writers were clearly having a bit of a prescient moment. Yeah, it was kids killing kids, which is what war is in a lot of ways. And to me, again, that was going back to the whole sons and daughters titling of this. It's the sons and daughters are killing each other. It's not necessarily SDM title. It's the double meaning of this episode name. But anyways, she goes on to say, perhaps Dev has the key to saving it all if he has any humanity left. She says, if I was to give a score only to Kelly's whatever these aliens are, it would be a 1 out of 10, the most slow-moving plot in the history of life. You're not wrong. She says, if that doesn't have some kind of massive reveal in the next episode, I'll be potty mouthing on steroids, scraping moss off of a cable. Having seen Project Hail Mary, hopefully both of you have by now. No, he hasn't, Jade. You'll know that this kind of alien life I want to see and appear on Titan. And we're on the same page there. Wink. I understand what you're saying. She says, oh, thinking of you at this difficult time, Brian, the loss of your main man, Palmer, quote, he's basically a good guy, unquote. I quote you directly. Maybe they'll write that down on his headstone. Palmer, basically a good guy. Oh.
Just so you know, Jade, I immediately texted Bonnie. I was like, I don't even want to hear what Jade had to say because I knew it was going to be some smart aleck.
Thank you, Jade. Thank you. I really appreciate it. You came through, and I really do appreciate it. She says, what will the finale bring? It's wide open. And she brings up the point here, Avery and Alex, they would have known each other from childhood on Earth, surely, right? Yes, I agree, Jade. But alas.
I do agree, but they don't.
Yeah. Whatever. So that concludes the emails this week. Jade actually emailed again in the last 10 minutes, but I have not read it yet, so I won't pick it up here. But in real time, as we're recording this on Saturday morning, she just emailed again.
I do just want to say I'm not in love with Palmer.
If you say so.
he has a very clunky arc.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
in the episodes when he's with Dev, he's obviously tortured. And then he went from normal guy to cartoon villain to tortured soul back to cartoon villain. And it's very clunky. The other thing is the Titan stuff. I agree. It is not my favorite, but you needed that to the point you're making is this was so bleak on Mars.
Right.
That you needed those breathing
beats.
spots.
Yeah.
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 For them to get through that and not just be a depressing mess. So
that's a good
I agree,
take.
but it could have been done a lot better, but we needed some brevity and we needed that story to move along.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah. It's a hot take, but it's a good take. Maybe it's not even hot. It's just medium lukewarm. But it's a good take.
It's a take.
It's a take.
Yeah.
I have no idea where they're going into episode 10.
No.
And I love it. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Of all of the finales, like this one, since season 2, and I keep heralding back to season 2, like I had no idea where they were going in that finale.
Yeah.
And I have full faith that they're gonna stick the landing on this one.
I do too. I hope they do. And that will make or break the season. Maybe not break the season, but it could definitely make the season of them having a really good.
Yeah.
I want to be excited for season 6. I was excited only because I'm already bought in for season 5.
Sure.
But right now I'm very excited for season 6 and I want them to amplify that.
Yeah, indeed.
Something, if you're still listening, just for some kind of housekeeping stuff. So next week, episode 10 and episode 1 and 2, correct? Come out?
Okay. I'm glad you brought this up. Thank you for bringing it back to this. But yeah, so next Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central, as 9 p.m. Eastern in the United States.
Nobody does East or Central time, but
I know, but that's where I live. The universe gravitates and circles me, orbits me. Apple TV is going to drop 3 things, I assume, at the same time. The For All Mankind Season 5, Episode 10 finale, and then we're going to get the first 2 episodes of Star City at the same time. Brian, I think you're bringing this up to say, I think our number one focus should be appropriately, let's put a bow on Season 5 of For All Mankind, take a beat, and then talk about Star City in another recording at some point in the near future. Yeah. So I think next weekend, our efforts, our conversations will be focused on the finale. We'll take a beat and then we'll start talking about Star City. So hang tight because I really want to put a bow on and give justice to what has been a really phenomenal season before we start talking about the next project. That's the one thing I appreciate. I like that they're doing this release, but I also don't like that it's all happening at the same time. They could have waited a week.
If we weren't podcasting it, it would be great.
Right. Nice For All Mankind universe party. This is a wonderful gift that they're giving, but as podcasters, it is a bit of a nightmare to try to cover all of this in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we haven't really nailed this down, but I think next week will be just regular. We'll do episode 10. We want to do a recap. Are we doing a recap episode?
I would love to do a recap episode.
Okay, we're going to do a recap episode of season 10.
Right.
We've got a special guest coming on that episode.
We're trying. Maybe? We're trying to secure somebody. So
I thought we did.
Stay tuned.
Okay. And then I don't know what our schedule is, but we'll get into a beat with Star City where we're doing it every Saturday like we do for this.
Yep.
But the next 2 weeks will be clunky.
It'll be a little bit clunky. So just hang with us. Don't unsubscribe. Episodes might randomly drop into your feed, but we're going to keep it coming. And of course, we'd love to hear that feedback.
We should be back in.
I'm sorry, what was that?
What? By episode 4, we should be back in a rhythm.
Very good, indeed. So we'd love to hear from you guys. Of course, that email address is happyvalleyfam@gmail.com. Brian, any other thoughts? Closing thoughts? Nope. Ideas, hopes, and dreams?
Nope, I'm good.
All right. Until next time. Bye, Bob.
Bye, Bob.